Today, New Zealand property wobbles. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, where I've noticed posts covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. Just a quick reminder that tonight, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Sydney time, I'll be joined by Evan Thornley from Longview, and we're going to be discussing property investing and the property market more generally from his vantage point in Melbourne. Feel free to ask questions live via the YouTube chat. I look forward to seeing you tonight at 8 p.m. Sydney time. The number of residential property sales across New Zealand decreased by 29.4% annually, from 9,573 in December 2020 to 6,755 in December 2021, according to figures from REINZ. The number of properties sold was also down 21.4% month on month. For New Zealand, excluding Auckland, the number of properties sold in December 21 decreased 26.6% from 6,048 to 4,422, while in Auckland the number of properties sold decreased 34.4% annually, from 3,525 in December 2020 to 2,313 in December 2021. Month on month, there was a decrease of 26.6%. Marlborough was the only region to see an annual uplift in sales counts, with an increase of 5.1%. The number of properties sold in the region increased from 78 in December 2020 to 82 in December 2021. In addition to Auckland, the regions with the greatest annual percentage decrease in sales volumes were West Coast, down 36.1% annually from 72 to 46, 26 fewer properties sold. Interestingly, it was the only region to see a month-on-month increase, up 17.9% from November 2021, but of course those numbers are pretty small. Wellington decreased 33.2% from 871 to 582, with 289 fewer properties sold. That was the region's lowest sales count in the month of December since 2013. The total number of properties available for sale nationally increased 29.7% annually, from 12,932 in December 2020 to 16,773 in December 2021. Inventory levels increased in most regions, some recording a significant jump as restrictions eased across New Zealand, and those who previously held back their properties brought them to market. Wellington increased 206.6% from 346 in December 2020 to 1,061 in December 2021. Wanganui increased 133.7% annually from 315 to 736, and Hawke's Bay increased 107.4% from 203 to 421. Only 3 regions saw an annual decrease in inventory levels. West Coast was down 21.9%, Canterbury was down 13.6%, and Northland was down 1.7%. Jen Baird, the chief executive of REINZ, said the increase in inventory in the market is welcome news for buyers who benefit from greater choice. Following long-term supply shortages, properties are selling quickly. We note that 11 of the 16 regions have 10 or less weeks of inventory available, suggesting that supply-side pressure on prices remain. Should stock levels continue to increase at this rate, we would expect it may start to rebalance the supply versus demand scales and in turn alleviate some price pressure. However, given market appetite, it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Nationwide, 31.4% of properties were sold by auction in December 21 compared to 26.4% in December 2020. Auctions in New Zealand, excluding Auckland, accounted for 22.3% of sales, up from 16.5% last year, and is the highest since records began in September 2005. Gisborne maintained its top position with the highest percentage of auctions. In December 21, 53.4%, just 31 of properties sold by auction, down from 65.2%, 43 the year prior. The Auckland region continues to demonstrate a growing preference for auctions, with 48.9, 1,130 properties sold by auction in December. Though down on November at 51.6%, it represents an annual increase up from 43.4% in December 2020. Canterbury and Northland also had their highest percentage of auctions since records began. Auctions in Canterbury accounted for 42.6 That's 442 auctions, compared to 23.3% in December 2020, and perhaps reflects what is a strong and active market. In Northland, 27.9% or 55 properties sold by auction in December, up from 19.4% 12 months prior. And median prices for residential property across New Zealand increased annually by 21.5% from $745,000 in December 2020 to $905,000 in December 2021. Though year-on-year growth continues, this was a 1.6% decrease compared to November 21. The median residential property price for New Zealand, excluding Auckland, increased annually by 20.6% from $630,000 to $760,000. That's a 1.3% decrease from November 21. Additionally, Auckland's median residential property price increased 25.9% annually from $1,025,000 in December 2020 to $1,290,000 in December 21. That's down a marginal 0.8% on November. 7 regions achieved record medians, and there was one equal record in December. Northland increased 13% annually from $672,500 to $760,000. That's a new record median high. The Bay of Plenty increased 27.8% annually from $720,000 to $920,000, and that's a new record median high. And Gisborne increased 17.8% annually from $590,000 to $695,000, a new record median high. Wanganui increased 23.2% annually from $525,000 to $647,000, a new record median high, and Tasman increased 25.2% annually from $735,000 to $920,000, again a new record median high. Nelson increased 23% annually from $635,000 to $830,000, again a new record high, and Southland increased 21.3% annually from $325,000 to $455,000, a new median high. Wellington increased 24.2% annually from $805,000 to $1 million, an equal record median of that previously reached in October 21. And 19 territorial authorities had median price records in December. That was the lowest number since July 2021. Jen Baird said December was a solid close to a strong year for the New Zealand property market. House prices were considerably higher than in December 2020. Demand and sales activity remained firm, and there was a welcome increase in new listings through November and into December. Across New Zealand, there was an annual increase of 21.5% in the median price, reaching $905,000. That's down 1.6% compared to November 21. New Zealand, excluding Auckland, saw a yearly increase of 20.6% to $760,000, a 1.3% decrease compared to the month prior. When we consider the seasonally adjusted median prices, which assesses a month's performance outside of predictable seasonal patterns, December price movements were as expected. However, we are noting signs of deacceleration in annual price growth compared to previous months. While the market remains confident, the impact of rising interest rates, tighter lending criteria, and changes to investor taxation restrictions are starting to shift dynamics. In particular, the amendment of the Credit Contract Consumer Finance Act on the 1st of December 21, which requires stricter scrutiny of borrowers' financial health, seems to have had an immediate effect. Feedback from several regions notes a fall-off in buyer numbers, particularly first-time buyers, as a result. Over 2022, the impact of these changes and anticipation of further interest rate increases are likely to play out in the market, leading to a gradual slowdown in the pace of price growth, she said. And that's why I said in the title, it looks as though the property market in New Zealand is on the wobble. But of course, the real question will be, to what extent will higher interest rates and those tighter restrictions bear down on the market, which is still, frankly, overvalued relative to any long-term measures that I can consider. It'll be interesting to watch how 2022 plays out. Now, if you're buying your home in Sydney's contentious market, you don't need to stand alone. This is the time you need to have Edwin Almeida from Ribbon Property Consultants standing alongside you. Buying a property is both challenging and adversarial. The vendor has a professional on their side. Emotions run high, price discovery and price transparency are hard to find, and then there's the wasted time and financial investments that you make. Edwin understands your needs, so why not engage a licensed professional to stand alongside you? With RPC, you know you have experience, knowledge, and master negotiators looking after your best interests. So shoot Ribbon an email at info@ribbonproperty.com.au, and if you use the promo code DFAWTW/Martin, you can get a 10% discount offer. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.